What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building. And I got the UFC Fantasy Matchup Predictions number 4. And obviously, we're doing this to the road to UFC 262. And honestly, I will continue it after UFC 262, after we're done with all the weight classes. But man, I cannot wait for this one. This is a really good one actually, and I think a really fun one. You guys will enjoy. Kamaru Usman versus George St. Pierre, man. I mean, this is an awesome matchup. Obviously, this is super hypothetical. We don't know what could happen. Anybody could win this fight. This is a fight we could have seen maybe, man, I think probably right after Usman beat T. Wood, maybe. I think George was maybe 38. It could have been a plausible thing. I don't think we're ever going to see this matchup, but these are the two guys that are super similar. T. Wood and George St. Pierre, I kind of understood the comparisons, but I feel like they're not similar at all. I don't think they were, very close. I think T. Wood was just a great knockout artist with, elite Division I wrestling. But, while the years started to grow on T. Wood kind of forgot his wrestling and forgot what made him a great MMA fighter and kind of relied on his power too much. And then, it took away from him. George St. Pierre was a very well-rounded fighter, and that's what Kamaru Usman is. I'm not saying T. Wood isn't well-rounded. I just feel like right now Usman is more well-rounded, and you could really compare Usman to George St. Pierre, honestly. And I still think Usman will have 5-round decisions. I still think he will use the famous foot stomps. I think this is just him, knocking people out. You got to also think about he is fighting. His last 2 fights are against 2, former lightweights. All right, let's be honest here, y'all. So I still think right when Usman fights real legitimate welterweights, I think he's going to go back to going to decisions. I don't think he's going to be knocking everyone out. And that's why I really consider these guys, very similar. Both guys, are super safe. Both guys win. They have a great jab, both of them, and have a great double leg and have great wrestling. And, George St. Pierre, when he became champion, now when he wasn't champion, he was finishing people. But when he became champion, he did everything he could do just to keep the belt and continue his dominance and just, achieve like 9 title defenses. Now, Usman does have a way to go from 9 title defenses, but he did match T. Wood's title defenses in 4, beating Colby Covington, beating Jorge Masvidal in the first fight, then beating Gilbert Durinho, and then beating Jorge again. He's achieved so much success. He's a 5-time world champion already, including the T. Wood performance. He has 5 belts. He is coming up. And obviously, both guys are just so similar. Even in the way they're both bald. Well, at the time, I know George is growing out his hair, but at the time as their champion, they're both bald. Great physiques. They're so similar. The only difference is one is black and the other one's white. That's really what it comes down to. But if we look at the stats and how these guys match up, at the time, I'm going to be obviously using the George St. Pierre that fought Michael Bisping in his last fight. I feel like that George St. Pierre, whatever you want to say, you could say that he's not in his prime, but that Michael Bisping performance might have been one of his best performances in a long time. I know he got hurt, but he dropped him and he submitted him real quick. What else can you ask for from a guy? I think he did really good for himself in that. But yeah, he comes in a record with 26-2 for George St. Pierre. Fights out of Montreal, Canada. Has a height of 5'11" and a reach of 76. So the reach will be very important in this matchup. Now Kamaru Usman is 19-1. It is fighting out of Denver, Colorado. I know it says Florida. He doesn't fight out of there anymore. Age 33, height of 6 foot, and a reach of 76. They're so similar. They got the same reach. So Usman in this welterweight division has had, the luxury of having a reach advantage over some of his opponents. He's had a reach advantage over all his opponents in title fights. He probably didn't have a reach advantage over Sean Strickland. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. but that's just something I'm assuming. This would probably be the first opponent that Usman would have, I mean, a similar reach with. And I think where this fight would come down to is I really do think George St. Pierre would challenge Usman in the wrestling. I just do not think George would play too many games with Usman in the striking. You know, when George was champion, it didn't matter if you were a great wrestler. He will test your wrestling. You know, Josh Koscheck, a phenomenal wrestler, and he went out there and out wrestled him twice. You know, beat him in both fights. So I think where this fight will end up will be on the feet, and I just truly believe, not on, what did I say, the feet? I mean in the wrestling, and I truly believe Usman is the superior wrestler. Now I feel like George might be the superior grappler, but I just think Usman's still good enough to get out of those traps, and I feel like Usman could win a decision or could get a late stoppage, but I feel like Usman at this moment in his career is just, you know, with all due respect to George, I mean, I still consider him the welterweight GOAT. Usman has a ways to go. I feel like Usman could surpass him. You know, it's like this welterweight stuff, like, and who's the GOAT? It's such a, I mean, it's such a hard topic because it's like, you know, different times, different, you know, different kind of competition, different competitive level. The guys are better now than they were before, but you have to respect the guys from before. You know, you have to put that into consideration. You have to have respect for the legends in our game. But I mean, here's how I look at it, and it's kind of like the Michael Jordan, LeBron James thing. You know, how people have kind of tried to make sense of how LeBron could surpass a guy like Jordan. You know, some people like, you know, Shannon Sharp has said LeBron needs to win 2 more championships, right? So I'm going to give that kind of same criteria to Usman. I feel like if Usman can beat Colby Covington in a rematch and Leon Edwards in a rematch, I feel like I'll be ready to say he surpassed George St. Pierre as the GOAT. Because in my humble opinion, I mean, the guys in Leon Edwards, Colby Covington, Gilbert Burns, and T. Wood. Now, Jorge Masvidal, y'all already know. That's street bum. That's Masvidal bum. Usman should have done that to him. But the other guys I named, I mean, those guys are elite fighters. I might not be the biggest fan of Gilbert Burns, but that guy is an elite grappler. Great hooks, great power. You know, he was a former lightweight with no chin, and he's now a welterweight with no chin, but he is a good fighter. I won't call him a bum, even though I don't like the guy. T. Wood, great champion, has accomplished so many things. Has beaten a lot of the opponents that George St. Pierre beat, so you also have to put that into consideration. So if Usman did that, he would be able to kind of surpass GSP as the welterweight GOAT. If that's all he needs to do is just win those next 2 fights. I don't think he's gonna beat Colby in a rematch. That's just me, but I got Colby winning that. But if Usman is the Usman of today fights the George St. Pierre that fought Michael Bisping, I feel like Usman would beat that guy. I think Usman, as he says it himself, he is a problem. And I had to learn the hard way. I really did with that Colby Covington fight. I was so cocky. You know, I thought Colby was going to run right through him. And even during the fight, I was saying 3-1 Colby. And Usman went out there like a champion. And I will always give him credit for it. He went out there and finished the fight. And, you know, he did his job. And I will never disrespect him for that. I know a lot of Colby fans don't like the stoppage. I'm not one of them. I was just heartbroken that Colby even got dropped by that fool. And I think it is what it is. I just feel like Usman is just a better version of George St. Pierre. And if they were ever to fight, I feel like he would prove it and break the old man's face. No disrespect to Georgie, but Kamaru Usman is on another level. And I told y'all, I'm not going to call that man Marty, and I'm going to give that guy his respect. I said if he can finish Jorge Masvidal, if he can finish Masvidal Bum, if he could finish Street Bum, I will never, ever call him Marty. So Kamaru Usman would beat George St. Pierre if they ever did fight in my fantasy prediction. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new, obviously subscribe. I also do have an Instagram. I do have a Twitter. So, you know, those links will be down below in the description box. Like, comment, Share this video. Let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation growing. Love y'all, and goodbye.
I'm a problem. 170s, get ready. I'm a problem.